no one, you pick the known unknown, not the known, no, I don't like her. You pick the, I don't know if I don't like him. And that's what they picked. They picked, I know I don't like her. I don't know how much I don't like him. And the closing argument from the Clinton campaign, this is about what kind of country you live in, is something every parent is going to have to grapple with, because this is the country we live in, where the disgust, I think 10 months ago I called him political chemo, who wipes out all the healthy blood cells, who takes out everything with him, because people think the disease is so acute, they're willing to take the strongest medicine possible. I think that's what we are seeing. The cancer was Washington, and a lot more people than we predicted, than our pollsters predicted, viewed
but then
him as the cure.
Why aren't any incumbents losing?
Well, George W. Bush campaigned for, I think, every Republican who won tonight on the board, and his message was anti-protectionism, anti-isolationism, and anti-nativism. So voters are really smart, and I think they've calculated that at the top they want change.
But it can't be that
how is that smart if you're voting for two different things, right?
Return all of Congress.
You're voting for two
then why isn't she
things.
winning? And listen, it is far more likely at this point that he wins than she wins. It is far more likely at this point that, and I say this not as someone who voted for him, but it is far more likely that he wins, and it is far more likely that tomorrow morning we're talking about a Trump cabinet than a Clinton cabinet.
I'm not disputing that. What I'm disputing is that the diagnosis is that people wanted to get rid of Washington. Because if they wanted to get rid of Washington, they would have thrown out Ron Johnson.
She'd been there 30 years. I think at the top, they viewed her as less appealing than him. I'm looking at the same polls.
Yeah, but it's not a diagnosis for the rest of what happened tonight. Which I think is a fascinating thing. I don't know what it means that the Republican Party survives intact, and the only thing that changes is a radically different type of person at the top.
I am not saying it's intact. I am not saying it's intact. Paul Ryan and Jim Comey, two Republicans, become like the last dinosaurs tomorrow morning. They become the most endangered species in the country.
Because Trump's going to try to throw Ryan out?
Donald Trump wants to work with the Speaker Ryan. He may say so tonight, and if he wins in a victory speech. Paul Ryan is endangered. He had the most uncomfortable and really excruciating endorsement of Donald Trump. If Trump wins, I think he wants a speaker that's going to go along with his.
But he's going to get in there and be like, vengeance is mine. John McCain, you're dead.
I don't think the party's intact. I'm only half joking about getting deported myself. It's not intact, but it has, at the level of our voters and our base, it has embraced change over stability.
What does the new party call itself?
Like I keep thinking of Prince, the band formerly known as. I don't know.
It's still the party
formerly known as the Republicans.
Had they thrown out more people running for Congress and running for the Senate, I would think that the Republican Party was going to be radically different. Instead, I think they just swapped out the guy at the top. Everybody else goes back.
He's just not any guy, though.
It's a pretty radical change at the top, though.
Yep,
it is. And so, one of the questions I think we would be asking if this went that way is, where do you draw the line pro-Trump, anti-Clinton? In terms of how people voted and why they voted that way.
We have a poll we take here at NBC Wall Street Journal.